That doesn't look good. Call me crazy, but a race car usually has, or a Formula One car at least, usually has a nose and a front wing on it. Dare I say, the front fell off. I think I see Ralf Schumacher too. And how about that? I think we're live. Hello, how are you going? Welcome to Turn15 channel. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you might be. My name this year, why not? My name every year, why not? Seems to change race to race. I need to pick a name and stick with it. My name is Missing Nose. How about that? Goodness me, that doesn't look good for Kimi Antonelli. Is something wrong with that Mercedes? We might be about to lose a car from this race, just maybe. In fact, that's not even Kimi Antonelli's car. That's George Russell. Okay, so it's in fact both cars that they're working on. Alright, so something is up at the Mercedes, something that they've noticed on the outlaps on the way to the grid. Oh dear. Potentially there is something wrong with the first and fourth place car already. That could be fun. What a fucking start. Hello, how are we going? Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Singapore Grand Prix, round 18 of the championship this year in Formula One. We used to get just about 17, 18 races and that'd be it. And we've got several more on the way this year, and it still spins me out that they have crammed so many races into the calendar this year. This year and the last few years, actually. I remember back in the day it would hit 17, 18, even 19 races, and people were thinking, oh, geez, that's enough. 24 now, plus sprints? Crikey. Whatevs. Love it. Love F1. Great. Good stuff. Anyway, should be a fantastic race today. 62 laps of the just under 5 kilometer circuit around the lovely Marina Bay in Singapore. It is hot, it is sweaty, it is wet over there as well. It was absolutely chucking down earlier. The track, it seems, has mostly dried, but it still looks a little bit damp. Now that part of the world is fun for the rain because it is very hot, very humid. There is so much temperature already in the asphalt, the concrete, and everything, basically everything that the sun touches over there, that it tends to dry very quickly. But when the sun goes away, the wet hangs around just a little bit more. So it could be a slightly slick start to the race. We shall see. Either way, George Russell, fantastically on pole today. Fantastic because I love the grid, and fantastic because it was a fantastic race. Qualifying lap rather. Hopefully it'll be a fantastic race too. Great qualifying lap, absolutely amazing. And nobody could even beat his first benchmark, but then he beat it again. Just got it over the line. Well done, George. So he's starting from pole. Max Verstappen is second. Piastri, Antonelli, Norris is the top 5. So McLaren a little bit further down again. Their pace seems to have gone a little bit walkabout lately. So interesting times ahead for McLaren. Interestingly also, in about 2 hours, they will probably be Constructors' Champions for this year, so well done, lads. Second year in a row. Amazing stuff from McLaren. Good stuff. Hamilton 6th, Leclerc 7th, Ferrari still in that kind of no man's land. Hadjar 8th, Behrman 9th, Alonso in 10th. Then we got Hulkenberg, Lawson, Tsunoda still struggling, Bortoletto in 14th, Stroll 15th, then Colapinto, Ocon in 17th, Sainz, who was disqualified from qualifying, starting in 18th, and then Gasly and Albon, it looks like, are taking pit lane starts. Gasly, of course, did not finish qualifying, didn't crash, car just broke. Oil, I think, is what I've heard. The problem being something to do with his oil pressure, so, you know, not good, and a car certainly won't qualify without oil pressure. Alex Albon also disqualified from qualifying. Williams, it looks like, made a big whoopsie with their rear wing. Do we remember 2021, the slot gap shenanigans, what were happening at Mercedes at Interlagos? Basically the same thing. So a pit lane start for Albon. I'm not sure how Sainz gets away with the back of the grid penalty instead of a pit lane start, but you know, that's F1. Either way, it's Singapore. Starting 18th and 20th is basically doom already. So that's going to be two pretty shitty races for Albon in a row then. Yeah, not great. Not great for Williams. Coming off that podium in Baku too, it's a bad way to follow that up. So it's a great shame. Let's see if they can do anything at all tonight. About 7 minutes until race start. Now, what has happened in the week? A few things. Not a lot. Not a whole lot. Generally around this time of year, around September, October, is when the silly season is really, really ramping up. A lot of announcements and things like that, especially around like Monza and the few weeks after that. Well, it's gone a little bit quiet. Most of the seats are already taken. We have a pretty good idea of where everybody is going who hasn't yet had a contract announced. Both the Mercedes guys are still unannounced, but very, very likely to stay. I don't see a world where neither of them stay. The fact that they have nobody else really next year and potentially a championship winning car next year means that right now George Russell is absolutely in the position of power when it comes to negotiating whatever he wants out of his next contract. Probably length is what he wants. Don't we all, ladies? Length is what he wants out of that contract, and I get the feeling he might be less than enthused at the thought of having Max Verstappen come in, take his seat, or maybe even Kimi Antonelli's seat. So let's see how that goes in the future. I was already expecting the Mercedes boys to be announced, so we'll see if that comes very soon. I get the feeling it will. Not yet. Not today. Not tomorrow. Someday. Most other people are already accounted for then. Sauber is turning into Audi, but that's sort of staying the same. We've already heard what's happening at Cadillac, although they have announced the sim drivers as well. Pietro Fittipaldi, that is, not fucking Emerson. Can you imagine Emerson Fittipaldi, sim driver at his age? Good grief. And Simon Pagenaud as well is going to be a sim driver for Cadillac. Decent peddler, Simon Pagenaud. Was always a very decent, very quick peddler. Got his brain absolutely rocked in an IndyCar crash a couple of years ago and hasn't raced since. So this is a bit of a life, I'm guessing, after full-time racing for poor Simone. I just don't think he's a bit like, he's got a bit of the Franchitti, I think, where basically the doctors are just saying flat out, you don't ever drive in a car again, because if you rock your brain again, it could be fatal. It's just what I'm guessing has happened. Kind of everybody else is already accounted for. I guess the big thing really is who gets the Alpine seat. Will it be Colapinto? Will it be Paul Aaron? Could it be Alex Dunn after all? I guess the other big seat is who gets the Red Bull. Looks like Hadjar right now. Looks like Yuki is going to be out on his ass. It could also be Liam Lawson is out on his ass. Crashed again in qualifying yesterday, which isn't good. He had a good race in Baku as well, so it's good stock for him, but he really needs to keep that kind of form up for the rest of the year. Starting 12th isn't great, especially crashing in qualifying isn't great either, so if you're a Lawson fan, let's hope for your sake that he can do something, because I am hearing it might be Alex Dunn, who has just split with McLaren as a young driver, quick driver as well, from F2. Irish fella. He's a little bit like an Irish Isaac Hadjar. He kind of reminds me of just his racecraft and his general propensity to be a bit of a hothead. Yeah, well, it could be that they replace Isaac Hadjar with the Irish Isaac Hadjar, if you will, with Alex Dunn. And then the other seat, I can't imagine Racing Bulls running two rookies next year when they've got a whole new car package and the power unit. The new power unit that's coming in. I think having somebody who has been around the block several times is more than valuable. Really, really valuable. We see that with new teams, which is why Cadillac went for their lineup of Bottas and Checo, and we've also seen it with the likes of Audi, who have gone for Nico Hulkenberg, very seasoned people, veteran drivers who know what's going on, who know about the sport, who know about a car that works and a car that doesn't, and can steer it in a direction that works. So we'll see. Or it's Racing Bulls though, so who knows? Maybe they do just throw it out and say, all right, Alex Dunn, Arvid Lindblad in Racing Bulls next year. Lawson, thanks but no thanks, and Yuki Tsunoda, sayonara. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, anything else that's happened in the week? Well, Max Verstappen won in a Ferrari GT at the Nürburgring, so well done Max Verstappen. A little bit of a throwback thing, a little bit like Jim Clark and Jackie Stewart and Mario Andretti used to do back in the day. There's an off weekend, so jump in a GT car and go racing. It's fantastic to see. The fact that he won his debut race at the Nürburgring with a fully powered car, not like his learner driver, let's say, race a couple of weeks ago. Just phenomenal. So another feather in the hat of Max Verstappen. Well done, Max. The big thing about Max this year that I want to see, though, can he rescue this championship? He is about 69 points down on Oscar Piastri. Norris is closer, but he's still 25 points down. A full win behind Oscar. So the championship is still, 7 races including today. Not including the sprint. 7 full Grand Prix still to run. So the championship is still open. 25 points is not insurmountable. 69 points is not mathematically out of it either. But 69 points is a long way to come back. A long way. I think Max needs, as much as Oscar, or rather as much as Norris needs Oscar Piastri to DNF just to get back in the championship hunt, I think Max really, really needs it. He needs both of those guys to either score low or not finish races at all while he is winning. Starting ahead of both McLarens today, so it's good for him. We'll see if he can convert that to anything. And I think Baku last time out was the biggest get out of jail card. And I mean like straight out of a Monopoly deck. Get out of jail free for Oscar Piastri. That could have gone awfully if Norris had have won last week, and he looked like he was never really in contention. But if he was, it could have been disastrous, which is the big thing, because it looks like McLaren's pace, like I said before, has kind of gone. Now the warm-up lap's about to start, so we are almost ready to go racing. McLaren, very intriguing. Mostly not adding new bits to their cars. There's little refinements. Warm-up lap going now. Little refinements to the McLaren cars, but really all the developments off. Ever since they were basically absolutely certain to win the championships, development goes off and everything goes into next year's car. Red Bull, it looks like, are still messing with that car, still trying to get some speed out of it, so they must believe that maybe they can get something out of this championship. And maybe they can. Maybe they can. Whether it's the championship, whether it's second place, maybe they can get something out of it. It's a good sign for Max Verstappen, actually, because Red Bull really, really looked lost. Completely lost earlier this year. They weren't quick. That's Gasly waiting for the pit lane to open before he can join the formation lap. Still going to start from the pit lane though. And it looks like fucking live time has gone down again. This seems like a running theme now. It's a good gag, F1.com. Well done. Good stuff, guys. Let's just see if I can sync this up maybe a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. Okay. Let's see. I get the feeling it's going to go out of sync again. This seems like a common thing with the F1 website nowadays. Just the live timing is kind of broken, which is a great shame. Yeah, normally I do this on the laps to the grid, but let's try to get it completely synced, but it looks like it doesn't even make a difference anymore. We'll get it within the same ballpark, shall we? Thank you, F1.com. Good stuff. Love the live timing, guys, as always. At least they've got all the tyres up this week, and it looks like Verstappen, Hadjar, Alonso, Tsunoda, Stroll, and Colapinto on the softs. Everybody else on the mediums. Expecting a one-stop race today. Expecting perhaps a safety car and a yellow flag, because generally this race has it. Didn't have it last year, I think, for the first time ever, but generally it has it. Everybody's on the slicks. The race track looks a little bit slick. Should it be fun? And Georgia's already sitting in pole position. Oscar just pulls up behind him, so the grid's starting to fill up. Now, very quickly, anything else? Max Nürburgring. Oh, poor Lewis Hamilton lost his dog as well. Terrible. No, I don't mean lost it, can't find it. I mean the poor bugger passed away, so commiserations to Lewis. Always horrible when a pet dies, honestly. No way around that, really. It sucks. Shame that. Real shame. Now they're still coming around. They're still coming around the final corner, so they really, really like to take their time. Here's Carlos Sainz, a little burnout, and then Parks in his 18th space. That will be the entire grid filled. Here come the lights. Let's go. 1, 2, and away. Alright, decent start out of Russell, decent start out of Piastri, decent start out of Max. Lando's had a good start, but he's kind of got nowhere to go. Piastri cannot make it past Max. Oh, side by side, the Mercedes and the Ferrari. McLarens are both side by side. There's a little bit of hit there. Piastri and Norris, a bit of contact there. Oh, I was waiting for that. I've been waiting all year for this. It looks like Norris has finally found how to get his elbows out. Whew. Oh, here we go. Look at Piastri looking to come back at him. Charles Leclerc's trying to maybe pick a bit of the bones here. Looks like that's Hadjar going on the inside of Fernando Alonso. Can he get that done? Alonso's going to be on the inside of the next corner. No, he won't, because Hadjar is through. Well done, Isaac. Good stuff. Oh, that was very, very close. You know, I had contact. Just keep an eye on everything. That's Norris Radio. Yes, he did have contact. He had contact with his teammate. Now that is... We've seen McLaren get very pissy when it comes to contact between their drivers this year. They kind of let Canada go, which was a proper hit between them, between Lando and Oscar, but they really didn't enjoy in Austria a couple of weeks later when Oscar nearly went into the back of Lando Norris. So let's see how the team plays that. Now, does he have damage? Norris does have damage on his wing. The part of the end plate's flapping around now. Oh, that's Piastri going wide. God, it's a scrappy first lap from McLaren. I tell you, part of their pace, it's not just that the other teams are catching them with a little bit more development, or just that the car's not really suiting the tracks that they've been to the last few races. All of that is absolutely legit. You know, all of that comes into it as well. But I think both of these guys are really feeling the pressure. I think Oscar and Lando are both. I mean, that wasn't very team-like, but sure, says Piastri. Well, yeah, I mean, in a way, yes. In another way, you know, it's kind of been threatening that, I think, the whole year. So, yeah, no. Oh, who's that? Yuki Tsunoda getting very aggressive with Esteban Ocon, and Ocon is through. So Tsunoda down to 17th. Jesus Christ, Yuki, it's all over. Now, here we go, side by side. This is Lando Norris. So he is on the inside. Sends it. Oh, okay, so he's damaged his wing on Max Verstappen. Jesus, Norris, what the fuck? So, I mean, shit. You can tell he's Hadjar Behrman incident, turn 1 collision noted. I mean, you can tell that Norris is driving, you know, for a championship now. He's absolutely sending it into corners, which is great if he can, you know, keep it clean and if he can make it work. Didn't quite keep it clean today, but it looks like he has made it work. Less than a second still behind Verstappen is Lando Norris. George Russell fastest lap, but that's not surprising because he's got clean air and it was only lap 2. Oh, I mean, it's only a matter of time before Max. So we could be Lando just barging me out of the way, or what's the go there? So Piastri, I think, is trying to say to McLaren, can I get back? We're looking at it. Let me get back to you. So Oscar's wanting a position change from that. I don't know about that. I was okay with them switching positions at, where was it, Monza? Because I think that was about the team protecting one of the mechanics and trying to keep harmony in the garage, in the team, you know, where you really need it. Small amount of front wing damage, nothing to worry about. That's the radio to Lando. I wonder if Red Bull is going to hint to Max, hey, have a look at Norris's front wing and maybe complain about it on the radio. There was a few games with those black and orange pit now to change damage flags a few years ago with the Haas's. They kept copying a bit of that. Who was it? Kevin Magnussen, I think. Kept on getting told on to the teacher, and he had to keep pitting to fix the damage. So I wonder if Red Bull are going to be complete shithouses about this end plate. I mean, it's a shithouse move, but it's one that I probably would try, to be honest. When you're going for a championship, you do what you can. Or do Red Bull prefer Norris ahead of Piastri? Much to think about. Either way, here's this radio. Still reviewing the incident. Focus on what you can do here. I think just get on with it. Control the controllables. Yeah, I think stewards say no further investigation, so I think McLaren will just use that to justify, you know what, it's probably fine between Norris and Piastri. It's fine. I think... yeah, I think at this point, and I've been saying to Lando before, he needs to turn into more of an arsehole. I think you just need to stick it. And I think if McLaren ask him to give the position back, he should just fight his corner to the death. I mean, there's 6 races to go after this. It's too late for any of these niceties or anything like that. If the team harmony falls apart, maybe you can fix it in the off-season and come back next year. Who was that? That looks like a little bit of debris that Oscar's just gone over, which I'm guessing is Lando's front wing starting to fall apart. There's another little bit of shit on the road there as well. It's just out of camera shot here because we're following Piastri, but is Lando's front wing starting to actually come apart here? Should we just drive angry and see what you can do? That's the confirmation. McLaren, as it stands, Constructors' Championship. I think they only need 13 points today. No matter what happens, they just need to score 13 points. So, that's really it. If McLaren makes the podium, they win. They are champions, and that's if they make the podium with just one car and the other one doesn't score shit. I get the feeling this is going to be a McLaren championship win, and we're going to see it tonight. I mean, we are talking an all-timer sports choke if McLaren don't get it done. Now, this is just a replay of the start. So it looked like the top 4 of the top 5 got pretty much an identical start. Norris is back. Norris has had a little bit of space ahead of him because Max is kind of backing Oscar up. And he's seen a gap and he's gone for it, so you can't really blame him. It certainly wasn't clean. I don't think it was dirty, but it certainly was a little bit messy. Okay, here we are on board with Leclerc. This will give us a decent shot of it. So it looks like everyone but Antonelli in the first 2.5 rows of the grid got away quite well. And yeah, I mean, Oscar kind of knows he's there. And Max gets his ass poked by Lando Norris like he's at Connections Club. Now, what is this? This is going to be an incident. Oh, okay. Yeah. And Behrman kind of got the raw end of the deal there. Again, I mean, that's kind of racing. Oh, that's a big hit. That's a big hit from Lando to Oscar. We saw the Force Indias get into it there in, when was that? 2017, I think. When they were having their endless fucking rodeo. Yeah, I mean, I can understand why Oscar's pissed, but, it's not nice that it's a teammate that's done that. At the same time, I don't think that's Norris barging him out the way as much as it is him making a move and it's just come off a little bit messy. Play on, I guess. Play on, and the stewards say so too. Yeah. So yeah, McLaren have. Yeah. So Oscar's not happy. That's Oscar getting a little bit hot under the collar. He's starting to feeling it. He's starting to feel it a bit. I was saying that just a couple of laps ago about the McLaren lads. I feel like it's not just that the car is starting to fall, not behind, but to get caught up with the development race, and it's not just that. It's I think both of their drivers are feeling hot under the collar. I mean, they're both going for their first ever championship, and the pressure in that must just be phenomenal. Not only that, now they've got Max also just staring at them from across the room, threateningly. Not quite doing anything championship-wise yet, but definitely making himself known. I mean, as it stands, Verstappen's second. He needs to win to get back in the championship hunt. He really needs to win. 18 points for second place. Catching Norris by 3, catching Piastri by 5 is not going to be enough. It's a good, well, it's not good, it's an okay start. Well, it's a start. It's not a great one, though. And Max really needs to get into it. The best thing Max can do right now, I think, you could complain about Norris and his front wing and try to get him sent to the back and punish him points-wise that way, or you can play the long game. You have Norris and Piastri finish as they are, and the team dynamic starts to fall apart. Oh, have we got a yellow flag here? Where? What is this yellow flag? It looks like it's at turn 13, I think that is. No? Okay, it was just like a bit of a phantom yellow flag then. Alright, why not? I'm not sure. Even looking at the timing screen there, looking at the track map, I couldn't see anything going on there. So unless somebody's gone onto the track to fetch a bit of McLaren front wing that might have fallen off, or maybe a bit of Haas that's fallen off. Yeah, I think McLaren's got to find out that they cannot just keep trying to play overly nice here. It's just not going to happen. Somebody has to lose. I mean, look, it's fucking sport, At the end of the day, somebody is going to have to lose. They're not all winners. They can't all be winners. As fun as that would be for certain people, you cannot have both of your guys go for the championship and both of them win. Ocon, I have a problem with the brakes. Oh, maybe it was Ocon that went off then. Where is he running? 16th. It doesn't look like he's really dropped any positions then. So let's see what's going to go on with Ocon then. I mean, the pack is still quite together, isn't it? It's only 30 seconds between Russell and Albon. Russell's starting to get a wiggle on at the front, but there's a bit of a gap between Hamilton and Alonso, but behind them it's just sort of like a very packed up. So I can imagine there's a lot of cars running very close together are going to just send brake temperatures and engine temperatures sky high because they're just not getting any clear air. And to be fair, the clear air that they get here is hot as shit. What is this? Norris radio. How are the tyres? How's the pace? I think I'm a lot quicker, says Norris. So yeah, he's just saying, I think just strategy-wise, leave me ahead of Oscar. That's not fairness or anything. That is strategy-wise. Don't even start thinking about fucking replacing us. Switching us around to make the championship, to make the race strategy work. Now, so it looks like the top few drivers are starting to gap each other. I think this is all just part of looking after their cars. Bit more of a train behind Alonso. Jesus, look at that. But everybody else is starting to, I think, just keep the car in survival mode until the pit stops. Look at Russell though, 4.5 seconds, all out in the front. I mean, he is almost unrivaled here. I mean, if you're George Russell and you're going into a contract negotiation, this is the end of his deal with Mercedes. And Mercedes, I think, dicked around too much with Verstappen. I think they were waiting so long to see if he would indeed be available for next year, but suddenly Christian Horner's out on his ass, and a couple of his generals, if you want to call them that, are out on their ass. Suddenly the Red Bull is quick again. Suddenly there's not really an overbearing need to get out of Red Bull. Suddenly they're quite competitive again. So Mercedes, I think, waiting for Verstappen, they thought maybe it was inevitable he would jump ship, and it's just not happened. So now they're just kind of left holding their fucking dick in their hand, just waiting for anybody to come along to see if they'll shake it too. Yeah, Russell's absolutely killing it here. Now, he had almost got a podium here a couple of years ago and ended up in the wall, so I don't think he's infallible, but he has been making a lot less of those kind of mistakes. I think this year has been probably the best I've ever seen George Russell race. He's just been brilliant. Already got a win in Canada. Generally features on the podium. Generally features up in the top 3, top 5, depending on what the car is capable of doing, and is generally well ahead of Kimi Antonelli, who a lot of people were looking at to come in and maybe really shake it up, a little bit like Verstappen did with Ricciardo all those years ago. But like Ricciardo did with Verstappen all those years ago, Russell is staying ahead. Although unlike Ricciardo, he's also staying ahead, keeping ahead. Kimi Antonelli, I think, has had a real rough time of it since mid-year, but we'll see how he bounces back. Again, he's just so young, but Russell, in comparison, just looks absolutely fantastic. And, you know, oh, here we go, Verstappen radio. Just asking about his gearing. No. So I don't know if that's just the ratio that they've set up for the gears, how the gear ratio is working here, or if he actually has a gearbox problem. We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I tell you, I think Mercedes maybe were fucking around too long with George Russell, and it's going to come back to bite them because, well, now they kind of need him. Now they really need him. Now there's no real viable alternative. I doubt they're going to go for Alex Dunn. I doubt they're going to go for one of their juniors and put them in the team. You know, I think the Frederick Vesti is not going to be an F1 driver, I'll put it that way. Now they have to wait for George Russell to sign and play along, and he doesn't exactly have to get a wriggle on doing that. Can take his time, get as much money, and more importantly, get as much security as he wants out of that deal. So it's all really settling down here. I mean, that's Singapore, isn't it? Very, very hard to make a pass. Very hard to really do anything here. It's a bit like we usually see at Monaco, where the front cars start to disappear and gap, and then you've got just a clog in the chain, which today is Fernando Alonso, and everyone just kind of bunches up behind him, but you get those DRS trains, and nobody can really make a pass. Not that it's all that easy to make a pass here anyway. Either way, while we're in this bit of a lull, now anything else in terms of news? Max v Norris. You know, actually, it's going to be interesting to see the Max and Lando Norris dynamic play out, because Max was very upset with Lando yesterday after qualifying, saying quite ominously he will remember what transpired in Q3, which was that Norris just happened to be ahead of Max going into, I think it was turn 16, so right near the end of the lap. And Max ended up aborting his final Q3 run. Don't know if he would have got pole with that, and he did end up second, but he would have been very close. One of those very close but we'll never know kind of things. And I tell you, if Max had got pole today, I mean, looking at this, he probably could have won. So Not to take anything back from George Russell, he's doing phenomenally, but generally, whoever starts first in Singapore tends to win. I mean, my opinion of the incident between Norris and Max yesterday was that kind of tough shit. You know, that's generally how qualifying goes. You know, and that's especially true in Singapore. The pit entry and the pit exit is not kind for cars who are doing flying laps. You know, it tends to feed these cars into the apexes and, you know, keep them sort of near the racing line. So I understand why Max is annoyed. I think anybody would be annoyed, but at the same time, it's not just that it was Norris, it could have been anybody doing that. It's just a consequence of having 20... No, it wasn't 20 cars, it was 10 cars, but it's a consequence of just having other cars all on very similar run plans. Norris was actually on a different run plan, which is why he was quite so backed up in a Max, but, you know, it happens. That's all I will say. It happens, you know. Shit happens. Deal with it. It's a phenomenal skyline in Singapore, I tell you. It looks absolutely brilliant. It's a lovely place to have a race. It's a shame the race is usually a bit of a parade, to be honest. Anyway, lap 13, Russell is leading 7 seconds from Verstappen. Norris 1.5 back, Piastri 4.5 back. So I'd say Oscar has given up the chase. Now, considering how the pit stops have been in the second half of this season, maybe if you're Oscar Piastri, you want to stick a little bit closer to Lando Norris, because his pit stops have been dog shit lately. McLaren have said that it's all just a big coincidence, basically, that it's Norris that tends to eat a lot of the slow stops. Ate one in Baku, had one in Monza. I think he had a slow stop in Zandvoort as well. I think I remember that happening, but he's had a few more as well. I honestly think it is just kind of bad luck. It's just something that just is unfortunate and is just tending to happen to Lando over anybody else. Here we go, pit stop for Red Bull. Who is this going to be for? Bortoletto's in the pit lane, so it's got to be Tsunoda who's pitting. Yeah. Oh dear, Tsunoda and Bortoletto together. Bortoletto's had absolutely destroyed his front wing. Norris, I've hit the wall, keep an eye on the right side. Oh shit, what was this? Oh, there's a wheel going out of the pit lane, almost into the path of Yuki Tsunoda. What's going on? Now, is that a replay of Norris at the top hitting the wall? I don't think it is. I think it's just a live feed. 1.1 behind Verstappen, so he is keeping him honest. And Bortoletto ends up on his way. That's a very messy pit stop out of the Sauber team. Now, what is this? When did he get that damage? Was that on the start? Ooh, yes, it was on the start. Yeah. Got squeezed. Again, just kind of the nature of this circuit. It's a very tight turn 1, 2, 3 complex, and a lot of cars tend to find each other. Now, this is Lando Norris. Is this him finding the wall? Ooh, yep. Turn 17, just a little kiss of the wall. Just a wee peck. Like he's nervous on a first date. Just a little touch. Yeah. Looks like a glance at the wall. If anything, I think he should get away with that one just fine. I think he's going to get away with that one. Maybe he got inspired by George Russell giving a big old smack to the wall yesterday on his way to pole. I mean, it worked for him. That's kind of a slow stop for Colapinto. 2.7. I mean, not slow, but not lightning quick either. I think switching to an onboard camera shot halfway through that pit stop made it seem longer than it really was. So, the onboards, for whatever, they run at about a second or so of a delay. You can always tell, like, when they go from onboard a car to off to on to off, like the exact position of where it should be on the track just kind of changes. radio for Norris. Think about the undercut on Max. Alright. 3 or 4 cars in the window. So, yeah, here we go. McLaren look like they're starting to think of taking a pit stop. Max is on the softs. Alonso is on the softs. Hadjar's on the softs. So Alonso is going to... You'd imagine Alonso and Hadjar will start holding everybody up behind them because their softs are going to wear down quite a lot quicker than the mediums. Track's also lost a lot of the rubber that it soaked up over the weekend because of all the rain before the race, so it's a very green circuit now, which means that the tyres should be wearing a lot more than they otherwise would. Ooh, hello. Just had a wee visitor come in. Looks like he's just going to go to sleep over there. It's not that boring, mate, surely. I know it's Singapore. I mean, Singapore's always kind of like this, isn't it? Maybe they should have rewarded Flavio Briatore for what he did back in 2008. Tell you what, Russell's killing it. 8 seconds now out in front. 8 seconds. And Russell's going to have a decent... If he wanted to pit right now, he'd have a decent window to come out into... In fact, in a way, he's almost losing that window because he's going so fast. He's going to start catching Hamilton and Antonelli rather instead. So forget about coming out in front of Alonso in that clear air. He might actually come out somewhere around Hamilton and actually go slower. It's kind of unless Piastri's picked up a bit of damage in that side swipe that he got on the first lap, I wonder if Oscar's maybe throwing a wee tantrum in that car. I thought that he would have been a lot closer to Norris in this race. You know. Maybe this is just the other way McLaren are going to box to overtake Verstappen. Okay, so McLaren has made the call. Looks like Norris is going to be taking a pit stop. Maybe this is another way that McLaren's ensuring pit stop fairness between its drivers. Just drop Piastri 5 seconds behind and it should be alright if he has a slow stop. Oh. No, McLaren is not pitting. Norris, stay out. Okay, so I think there's a little bit of a gamesmanship there. I think it's a bit of gamesmanship there. I think McLaren are trying to force Red Bull into a last second pit stop for Max. Yeah, I don't think they ever intended to pit, to be honest. I mean, this is the kind of track where generally position is king. It doesn't really matter unless your tyres are, falling apart, and I mean really falling apart. You can stay ahead of any driver, kind of no matter what rubber you're running. Yeah, I think that was all just a bit of trickery there by McLaren that didn't work because they couldn't convince Red Bull to pit. I think really what they wanted to do is it's a way of forcing an overtake, really. Pit Verstappen, get him out of the way, and then just go after Norris. Go after Russell, rather. There's not enough... Yeah, there's just not enough time delta between Max and Norris to really get a pass going. It's one of the things in F1, you need a fair bit of speed more than the guy ahead of you. I don't know, this sounds like no shit, fair enough, but you do need a bit of a speed advantage ahead of the guy ahead of you to be able to get a pass done. And I mean something like in the range of 1 or 2 seconds a lap. You really need that much of a quicker car to get by. It's just the way it is, really. Anyways, 9.3 seconds now. So here's me from the future spoiling the race for everybody. The top 4 I see finishing exactly as they are. Now, Antonelli is close behind Leclerc, so we'll see what he can do. We'll see if Hamilton can do anything, because 4th, 5th, and 6th, 5th, 6th, and 7th are running quite close together. And then it's just the minor places. And from there, anything could really happen. Now, Colapinto, Tsunoda, and Bortoletto are the only ones who have made pit stops. Colapinto is out ahead of Tsunoda, ahead of Bortoletto, so the undercut on the hard tyre did not really work. Then he had about a lap to get it done as well. Well, here's Red Bull out in the pit lane, so this would be Max. And then the thing is, they can't really fool. Norris stays out. Okay, well, I was going to say, that's what I was saying before. You want them to have a faux... Ooh, that's a slow stop for Max. 3 seconds, yeah, not great. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. You want to kind of engineer a pit stop in that one cardboard pit and just get out of the way, and then you can just get after him and go. Now, what can Max do with new tyres? And he is going to stay out ahead of Fernando Alonso. So even with that slow stop, he's just made it out ahead. I get the feeling Alonso wouldn't really give him a hard time. Those two tend to get along quite well. A lot of respect between Max and Alonso, actually. A whole lot of respect. And I can imagine Alonso's going to try to use the DRS to stay close, but I don't think I can't see Alonso giving Max a hard time here. Or trying to get ahead. Not that I think the car's got the speed to do it anyway. Now, all McLaren needs to do is see what they can do about George Russell. I get the feeling, and a safety car could change anything, a yellow flag could change everything, you know, anything could happen from here on out. It really could. We're lap 20 of 62, we're only about a third of the way through the race. Anything could happen from here, but likely Max might be out of luck here. I just wonder if starting on the soft tyres might have been the wrong move. I get the feeling Max was supposed to start on the softs to get ahead of George Russell, and it just didn't work. And an undercut can be good, but that's if you can switch the hard tyres on. And generally, the hard tyres are a wily beast and difficult to turn on. Especially to turn on very quickly and then be overly faster than the mediums. Although those mediums have seen a bit of action, haven't they? Now here's Hadjar into the pits. So yeah, I guess another big thing. Leclerc, Antonelli, Hamilton, if they want to stay out, and Antonelli could be the big thing here. Mercedes could just run Antonelli as late as he needs to. That's going to be very close between Hadjar and Colapinto. Hadjar stays ahead. Alright. So the undercut, on the medium tyres at least, looks like it's going to work. Now, what I was saying before, if I'm Mercedes, just sacrifice Antonelli. Just keep him out there. Keep him out there. Let him stay out there until lap 58, 59, and just keep Max planted behind him. You can play Monaco kind of games here. Now, there is room to make a pass here. It's not like it's impossible like it is in Monaco. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. So let's see what happens. Well, Leclerc's in the pits already, so... I mean, Mercedes has the ultimate... Oh, so Leclerc's in the pits. And Alonso has gone by. Leclerc's going to come out behind the bear man as well, which isn't great. And Nico Hulkenberg. Crikey. Alright, well, I think if you're a Leclerc fan, you may as well turn off unless Hulkenberg, Behrman, Alonso get out of his way right now. I think his race has just been completely fucked. So let's see. Can he make it? Can he get it done? Ooh. A little bit of a squeeze, but he ended up getting by. Okay, so at least there's that. Like I said, you can make a pass work here. It's just very difficult to do. Just trying to read what's going to happen in this race now. This is Verstappen free to push now. I'll try everything. Everything is working against me in this race. Yeah, kind of. Strategy's working against him, I think, more than anything. Now he does have free air here, but again, Antonelli is just... If Antonelli could keep Max behind, even for a couple of laps, even for a lap, but just slow him down. If he catches him at the wrong part of the track and he could really come off the throttle in a few of these corners, that's several seconds that the Mercedes of Russell and both the McLarens could get over Max, and then it could just be a game over. Verstappen fastest lap. Not very quick though. Not quick enough. Not enough that he needs. I mean, it's just kind of the story of Max's season. He's going to drive his ass off, but I just don't know if the car's going to give him what he needs. I wonder if you're Lewis and you see Max coming up behind you, if you just decide to stay out just to fuck with him. Just be like, I remember 2021, you bastard. Let's say as well, it's interesting to see... Oh, Russell radio. So I was going to say that's Mercedes kindly suggesting that Russell drive a little bit faster, and Russell kindly suggesting that he can't. So Norris 9 seconds now. Wasn't about 10 before, so he is definitely catching him. Norris is definitely catching him. Interesting. Very interesting. Could McLaren yet win this race? This is one that's going to boil, I think, quite nicely. I think this is going to be a race that'll come alive really in the last... Well, in the pit stop shuffle, but really in the last, 15 or so laps. We had a very tense finish a couple of years ago. What was it? Sainz, Norris, Russell, Hamilton, nose to tail, basically, for the final few laps of the race. It was just fucking phenomenal. Now, what I was saying just before, it is interesting to see in general. Now, this track kind of shows the difference between the old and the new in F1. And what I mean is, this track came about, it was designed... Whoop, Piastri radio, Leclerc, 5 seconds behind your pit window. So, yeah, Piastri's saying, don't pit me yet. Fair enough. Yeah, this track kind of exemplifies the old and the new and the difference between them in F1. And by the old and the new, I mean this track first came onto the calendar in 2008, and when it was designed, it was it had an even slower little bit that Max has just gone through before, an extra few corners on it. and it was very slow, very tight, all of that. It was an interesting race in 2008. Hamilton in the pits. Oh, bad stop. Not least because it was a fucking fixed race, but it was an interesting race. But the track itself, even back then, it was the second street track from 2008 that made its debut. Before it was Valencia, which was a fucking chore to get through. My good God, that was a difficult race. I don't remember anything really happening in that Valencia race. I'm pretty sure Alonso had a bad race for Renault, and that's all I remember. Everything else just gone. Pretty sure Massa won that race too, but really forgettable race. Really, really forgettable. And it was just, you could hear even the Brundle and, was it still James Allen then? I think it was. On the commentary. Even they were fucking falling asleep. It was bad, It's a replay. Yeah, it's the front right. Just doesn't go on for Lewis. That's a shame. His bad week gets worse. Oh, here we go. George Russell in the pits. And it looks like the McLarens are staying out. Now, let's see what happens. Looks like Antonella's coming in the pits as well. So, Mercedes are doing a double stop. A very extended double stop. Now, that's Russell coming out very much ahead of Max Verstappen. Yeah, 2.4 for Antonelli. It's not that bad. Oh, look at Verstappen. No, 17 seconds now off the lead. Okay, the pit stop games have started at McLaren. Are you okay if Oscar pits before you? No, I'm not. If I'm Oscar, I just box anyway. You can't really, when you're going for a championship, you can't really play nice with your own teammate. You just can't. You could try, and what we're seeing this year is McLaren trying to be nice to both of its drivers, and it's kind of the impossible job. It's just not going to work. Now, are they going to try a front wing change? I imagine they won't. And Norris is definitely coming into the pits. Now, is Oscar going to follow him in? Or is he going to go around? He's going to go around. Alright, so Max Verstappen will get out. We'll get ahead of these guys. There goes George. There goes Max. Yeah, and he's quite far behind. It's Lando Norris a lot further behind, actually. Quite far behind. And the tyre offset's only 7 laps, which isn't massive. I mean, 7 laps... It's not huge. I think, I don't know. I think maybe you'd need more of a delta, maybe like a 10 or a 15 laps or something, like really something with the genuine drop off. Isaac Hadjar's got an engine issue. Isaac Hadjar having the true Honda owner experience. Either way. This was the second street race that debuted that year. It was a lot more interesting than Valencia, but the track is, well, basically you can't fucking pass, and it was slow. And apart from the novelty of it being F1's first ever night race, the Ferrari pit calamity, Alonso winning, all of that sort of stuff, the racing itself was pretty fucking dog shit. And that's back when they had that god awful chicane in, where would that be, turn 10, I think? Which they have thankfully chucked into the scrap heap. It's a very slow stop for Piastri. Very, very, very slow. What in the world is going on? 5.2 seconds. Oh, wow. So Piastri's just been absolutely stooged there. I mean, he's still gotten out ahead of Leclerc, so that's fine. He hasn't lost a position there, but I mean, any dreams of getting ahead of Norris are totally shot. It's ogre. What is it? About 10 seconds now between them? Alonso, bad pit stop as well. A few bad pit stops today. I wonder if the heat's fucking with the equipment. Not great. So Alonso comes out ahead of Colapinto. Colapinto has a head of steam though, so we'll see what happens here. But yeah, that's not great for Alonso. Not great. It was going to be touch and go, I think, with Hadjar, but I think he probably would have got him. So with a good pit stop, so great shame for Alonso there. He said after qualifying that he wasn't sure that Aston Martin even deserved points this time, so at least he's being realistic with his expectations. It's the left rear that didn't go on. Oh. Maybe it was a coincidence. Now, what is this? A Haas launching it up the inside of Alex Albon. So that's Ollie Behrman into turn 16. You don't often see passing there, so good work, Ollie. Yeah, and he stayed ahead as well. Well done, the Bearman. Good pass, good pass. He's been quietly putting together a, not spectacular, but a solid debut year. So, well done, Bearman. Can't wait to see what he's got for us in the future. He looks like a good talent, does Behrman. Between Behrman, Bortoletto, Antonelli even, I mean, Hadjar as well. I think there's a lot of great talent coming up. A lot of great talent. And that's not even getting into yet the potential guys like Lindblad, potentially next year Alex Dunn, who knows, or I would have said Colapinto, but God knows what Alpine are going to do. There's a lot of good talent coming up. A lot of good talent. It's going to be interesting to see the next several years in F1, because I tell you, I think we're heading for a little bit of a logjam. Verstappen ain't going anywhere. Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, they're not going anywhere. Russell's not going anywhere. So it's going to be mostly, until we see the next real generational talents, I think it's hard to see a lot of these guys getting anything beyond sort of midfield-ish. Alonso with another complete all-timer of a radio message. That is just phenomenal. Well done, Alonso. It is just fucking phenomenal. Yeah, poor Fernando's not having a good day. Fuck, he's a funny guy. Now what was I saying? Oh yeah, the difference between a track like this, a track like Valencia, which thank goodness is no longer with us, and the street tracks that they're launching lately, things like Jeddah, which isn't really a street track, but you know, kind of is. The walls are very close at least, so there's that. Like Jeddah, Baku, really, really, really quick racing, really high speed, blind corners, high speed corners, close walls. The straight in Baku is just incredibly quick for a street race. I've said it before on this channel. I'm very cautious of how fast they're making these cars go through a street track, because these cars are big and they're heavy. It could, I don't know, I'm just terrified that maybe one day we'll see one of these things get into the fence, because if an open wheel car makes wheel to wheel contact, a lot of times it can get airborne, and it can be horrific if it does. It's almost like I like that the speed is back, and that the owners of F1 now, the guys who run F1 now, are really trying to bring the speed back, as opposed to the regime from in the aftermath of Senna's death for the next 10, 15 years, it was just constantly trying to make the cars slower and slower and making the track slower and slower. So, in a way, it's like F1 kind of rediscovered its soul in making just phenomenally fast tracks. But it does make me nervous when they make street tracks quite so fast, because those walls and particularly the fences are very, very, very close. Best not to think about it really now. Looking at the gaps, Verstappen now 3.6 from George Russell, so he definitely caught up in all of that pit stop malarkey. 3.5 seconds, I think it's a controllable gap for George Russell for sure. He doesn't really have to push from here. I mean, 3.5 seconds may as well be 3.5 minutes. It could be 3.5 tenths, doesn't matter. George is ahead. It's like Antonelli's really making a run at Leclerc here as well. It's very, very close. Sending it into the corner. There's not really a pass on there, but he is really trying to give him a hurry up. Antonelli, who has currently got the fastest lap as well. Yeah. Now, what Ted was just talking about, Piastri, again, only dropping a couple of points to Norris despite the pit stop, despite the contact. It's very true, and a big thing is happening here that is going to shape the rest of the championship, and that is that Mercedes and Red Bull, tonight at least, and it could be, if we're really optimistic, maybe Ferrari, who knows. Now that McLaren is being caught kind of by other cars, and I'm expecting them to come out swinging again soon. I think this is a little bit track related, a little bit setup related. I was reading the McLaren say that their cars like mid-speed corners that are quite long, because that's where they get a lot of their advantage. So places like Albert Park and stuff, where there's a lot of mid-speed corners that are quite drawn out, they can get a lot of time out of the car there. Whereas this track, or Monza, very high speed corners, Baku, a lot of very high speed corners, or very slow speed, not really a lot of the mid speed. This track's the same, not a lot of middle speed corners, a couple but not a lot, mostly a couple of very quick ones, mostly very slow. The more that you get Russell, Verstappen, and who knows who else might try to get involved in race wins from here on out, the more cars start fighting for first place, the harder it is for Norris to catch up, the harder it is for this Piastri to pull away. So it could really become whoever DNFs next might lose the championship. Now the good thing is, last time out, the good thing for Piastri is last time out when he did DNF, Norris could only manage 7th place there. Now, a bit of that was because the car wasn't great, a bit of that was because Norris was messy in qualifying, started further back, and a bit of that was the shitty pit stop. But generally, the more that Russell and even Max get involved in this championship, ironically, I think the better it is for the leader Piastri. I mean, if you're a Piastri and you lose a race, well, every time you lose a race, Norris wins, it's bad news. But every time you lose a race, if Norris is at best third, it's not that bad, to be honest. As long as, you're also picking up some points. There's that DNF for Lando Norris at Zandvoort, I think might actually... It's a pivotal moment, and not just because Piastri won and Norris didn't score, and it blew the championship margin way out. But I think it's a pivotal moment in that it's piled so much pressure onto Norris to catch up. It's piled so much pressure onto Piastri now because now he's the target man. And I mean, whoever's in front of the championship is the target man, of course. But he really, really has a target on his back now. What is this? Pierre Gasly just smacking the ball just a little bit, I'm guessing. Yeah. Oh, a little bit of a harder hit than Norris did, but should be able to get away with that one. Radio to Norris, have a drink. Okay. Yes, I will. Either way, it's good news for Piastri. As long as Norris is not winning races, I think it's good news for Piastri here on out. You win a race, you are catching at the very least 7 points per time. If you get third, what is he catching Piastri by today? 3 points? It's not going to be enough. If he does this for the rest of the year, he's going to be champion without an issue. 7 times 3 is 21, and if he's 25 points ahead, no problem. Now, the sprints might mess with that a little bit, but I couldn't imagine. Plus, I can't imagine Piastri isn't going to win again for the rest of the season. He's going to win another race or two, at least. 6 to go in that McLaren. Surely he's got another couple of wins in him. But yeah, what else? That Zandvoort DNF did to Norris, I think, is unleash. He's going to have to really get his elbows out now, which we saw at the start of the race. So it's a pivotal moment in how I think Norris is going to have to approach the rest of the championship. He has to be aggressive, and he said times this year he wants to be nice. He wants to win it as a nice guy kind of thing. I think he's going to find out you cannot win it. It's just one of those things you have to be, unless you're out on your own and your teammate's totally fucking useless and you have a car advantage that is just unbelievable. You cannot win by playing nice. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in any sport, really. It just doesn't. It's, it's lovely from a fairness point of view if you want to do it that way, but it doesn't win things. Or rather, it's very rarely that it wins things, and yeah. Either way, here we are, lap 36, so we're more than halfway now. Russell, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, Antonelli, Hamilton, Lawson, Stroll, Sainz. Now, Lawson, Stroll, and Sainz have not pitted. Behrman has, Albon has not, Hadjar has, Alonso has, so I think Lawson, Stroll and Sainz now are rolling the safety car dice. Albon too. They're waiting, hoping, praying that somebody sends it into the wall and they can catch a break pit stop wise, because otherwise they're basically fucked. Because everybody else behind them has pitted. And I tell you, if Albon pits from where he is now without a safety car, he will be dead last. So the gap's coming... Oh no, it's extending a little bit. It was 3.5 seconds. Now it's 4.5 between Russell and Verstappen. Norris 2.2 behind. Oh, what's happened here to Max? Whoa, very, very, very deep. Verstappen complaining about his car, which he's kind of been doing all year. Very, very deep into the corner for Max there. It was, whoa, that's Ocon and Gasly getting very close. Nice bit of racing there. This is Hadjar and Alonso together again. And Hadjar is ahead again. Fernando Alonso having a look at it. Down the inside. Oh, Alonso will be on the outside here for the corner. Now, what can Alonso do? Try the switchback. Hadjar's wise to it. Oh, Hadjar just backing up Alonso before the final corners. Good stuff, Isaac. That is actually quite clever racing. But look at Alonso. Look at the speed that he's got. Oh, Hadjar holds onto the inside line. Not bad out of Isaac today, I tell you. And look at, here we go, Fernando Alonso out of turn 3 into turn 4. There we go. Now he's ahead. All right. That's a bit of experience there. Wins the position at the end of the day, but I tell you, that's some decent driving out of Isaac. Alonso, trophy for the hero of race. Is he talking about Isaac there? That was good. That was good racing. It was great stuff out of Hadjar as well. Nice, not too forceful, not overly aggressive or anything. Just some nice, good racing. Delicious. Oh, Norris 1.6 seconds now. Apparently he was off at turn 2, was Max Verstappen as well. So 1.6 seconds now between Verstappen and Norris. Norris could yet get ahead here. And here we go. It's a replay. Hadjar and Alonso. So Alonso just... Yeah, I think Alonso's been here, I mean, in Singapore, but also in this situation many, many times. Knows how to get that pass. Knows how to work it. Knows how to make it work at the end. Good work. Good racing on Isaac Hadjar as well. Very, very good racing. Could just see Helmut Marko in the back of the Red Bull garage just saying, "Oh fuck, you're gonna make me promote you." Yeah, I think for everything that I've seen now, with Tsunoda 16th, I think Yuki's done in F1, and we all know that the Red Bull isn't a great car to drive. It's the window's not great, although you see Verstappen there in second. Again, I think the car really suits Verstappen. Not that they've tailored it to him, but he just has a better grasp of how to get the most out of a car. Yuki, I think it could be maybe an IndyCar seat or some shit, I don't know. It's hard to see where Yuki Tsunoda ends up next year. If he stays in F1, unless he... Stroll in the pits. Unless he gets an Aston Martin seat, and they're both filled, unless he gets an Aston Martin seat, he will have to leave Honda. It's unlikely Red Bull are going to keep him around. Although if I was Red Bull, I might keep Yuki around for one more season. Just that he's been in F1 for longer than Lawson. I think he'd be an okay head to have in alongside a new driver like a Lindblad in the Racing Bulls next year. But if Red Bull don't want to do that, fine by them. So Verstappen looking for a little bit of help either from above or from his garage. He might need both to keep Norris behind here. What's Norris now? 1.4 seconds. Oh. See, Norris only really has to put the pressure on because I think Max, that car is fucked right now. It's not doing what he wants at all, and I think a car like that is liable to send him off the road. I mean, it already has twice. So if Norris can just keep the pressure on, I think maybe it's easier for Verstappen to maybe make a mistake. I mean, Verstappen's really got his hands full here. Norris saying he's struggling in the dirty air, which is why you see earlier in the race these guys tend to gap each other. Look at the tyre life, Russell, Verstappen. No, so Russell was 6 lap younger tyres than Verstappen. It's kind of the offset of pitting so early for Verstappen. He's now I wouldn't have thought that, even though it's 7 laps, and 7 laps is, you know, quite a distance, I wouldn't have thought that it would be enough to get Norris ahead. But it looks like Verstappen, like with a pass rather, after the pit stop cycle to get him ahead of Verstappen. But it looks like Max is really struggling out there. So maybe it is possible Norris gets second. Like I was saying, it's the second part of this race that's really going to come alive. Yeah, so Russell, Verstappen, Norris, as Brundle was saying, they're about to come up to a bunch of traffic, which should make things very interesting. Now, Russell still has 4.7 seconds between himself and Max Verstappen. Verstappen, who seems to be going backwards as well. Very deep Lando Norris was into that corner. He just totally fucked that one up. And look at him, he's already dropped a couple of seconds, I think. 2.2, yeah. He's dropped at least a second of Max Verstappen there, just in that one corner. I mean, that's the dirty air for you. The dirty air fucks with the brakes and just makes it almost impossible for these cars to follow closely. Of course, if you're a back marker and you're fighting for your life back there, you just don't even worry that much about building a gap. Just fucking send it and see what happens. That's replay. Yeah, Norris just going deep into 16. Yeah. Well, they kept it off the wall at least. Or did he? Oh, that's so bloody close. So bloody close. I mean, yeah, Lando was just saying before he's struggling in the dirty air, so, you know, it's what tends to happen. Yeah, brakes, your car just doesn't work like you expect it to, and then before you know it, you're just even a meter, 2 meters too deep in the brake, and it'll just send you right off the track. Now, oh, Alonso and Albon. So Alonso's really got a move on here. Albon, still who has not pitted, it's over. It's over. I think once Alonso's ahead and he has pitted, I think that strategy is totally fucked. Now here we go. Look at all of these back markers all really getting together. Oh, bit of contact there, and there is debris on the road now. Is that enough? Or side by side? Is that Gasly and Bortoletto? Looks very, very close there. Looks like there was a bit of debris on the road back then. Is that going to be enough for them to throw a yellow flag, a VSC or something? Verstappen saying his car is undrivable. Oh dear. Now, here is the replays. What is this? Oh, Albon with a massive lockup. Massive lockup. Yeah, it's going to be a pit stop very soon for Albon. What is this? That's Tsunoda. Oh, Colapinto driving very rudely there. Now that's Colapinto going off. Tsunoda goes through. God, look at these guys. They're all they're just going for it. Now, where did that winglet come from? Ah, it's Bortoletto. Yeah, there it goes. You can just see it flying off the car there. So it was the Sauber that lost it. Oh dear. And well, they've not thrown a yellow yet for that. Safety car for a soft tyre. Let me know if you disagree. I don't know what to do right now. You do whatever you think is best. So Piastri's... Yeah, Piastri's, I think, they're very much fed up with this race. Doesn't think he can get ahead of Norris. Definitely isn't going behind Leclerc, so he's just kind of stuck no matter what he does. Talking about safety car strategies to Oscar, I think they're just watching some of these battles. And they're starting to think like, shit, maybe something's about to go down here. It looked very close before. Between the Sauber, the Red Bull, the Alpine, it all could have gone wrong. It's Lando Norris. That was a bit of a slide going into that corner, wasn't it? Yeah. It's Norris, it's like almost like a shield. A force field behind that Red Bull. That McLaren just does not like running in dirty air, like, at all. Especially when it's quite hot, and it's always very hot in Singapore. Got a yellow flag. Oh! Hulkenberg's off. No, he didn't get into the wall there. Didn't get into the wall. Looks like he's back and running as he should. Let's just see if I can sync that up a little bit better. Now what happened here? Ooh, it just snapped behind him. Crazy. It's almost like the car just got grabbed onto. Yeah. It's just what happens. All the air comes off the back of the car and it just totally spins around. You don't see many spins like that in races anymore. Not in F1. Russell complaining about blue flags. That's his Formula 1 tradition for a leader. Especially when you come up to a massive gaggle of cars like this. So 16 laps to go. My God, that middle part of the race went quick, didn't it? Russell, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, Antonelli, Hamilton, Lawson, Sainz, Alonso. Lawson, Sainz still yet to make a pit stop. So Alonso looking at 8th place today, which is phenomenal for Fernando. Then likely it'll be Behrman and Hadjar. Okay, Norris has just caught right up. Now, was that just lapping traffic? Is his car braking or did he go off? I think we'll, if he's gone off, then if he's had a moment, then we'll see a replay of it very soon. But either way, Norris less than a second behind now. Look at these back markers too. right ahead of him. Verstappen is struggling a lot now, so he says, "Oh dear." Now, we know the McLaren doesn't like staying in the dirty air. It's going to have to stay there for now. Norris is really going to have to tuck in and just try to follow Max through all of this traffic ahead of him. Otherwise, he'll lose too much time. It's always better if you're following a car that's going through traffic, it's always better to just try to follow them through the traffic instead of a lapped car having to get out of the way twice, which will always eat up more time. Hamilton in the pits. What are you doing in there? Alright, so Hamilton's going for something of a different strategy. Softs on. Alright. I mean, he's got a free pit stop where he is, so he may as well try it. He's only got 15 laps to make anything work here, though, so let's see what happens. Let's see what Lewis can do. It's just another weekend. It's just not worked out for Lewis Hamilton. It's going to be another weekend without Lewis Hamilton on the podium. Which is just phenomenal to think about. I can't even believe it, honestly. It's crazy to think. Oh, look at Norris, is really close. Looks like a tiny little lock-up for Norris there. Either that or there's a lot of dust on the road. But surely not, it's just raining. Oh, Max, I think, is trying to get a little bit of cooler air into his engine there. You see him just like ducking out on the straight. Generally, you don't do that. The blue flags let drivers know that you're coming. George Russell, who's just gone through, would let them know that there are leaders coming up behind to lap him. So really, you would only get out of the way there just to, if your car is starting to overheat, running behind all that traffic. I get the feeling at this point maybe Williams and RB for Lawson, maybe they're just waiting for like a red flag or some shit. Because even a safety car is not going to help them all that much in terms of keeping these points. Just a hell of a Hail Mary to throw. So Piastri just getting warned about all the traffic that he's about to encounter, and he has only just gotten by Stroll. So all of this traffic that we've been watching Verstappen and Norris get through, there's Piastri. He's only just started it. So, right. Russell 6 seconds ahead. I'd say it's done. Verstappen, Norris, I think unless Norris can force something here, I think Max should be able to see this out. I called it before. I said the top four were going to finish basically as they were, and I think that's still going to stay. Then Leclerc, Antonelli, Hamilton, I think is going to stay the same as well. Lawson and Sainz are both going to have to pit, so it'll be Alonso, Behrman, Hadjar. And it looks like Tsunoda's going to just miss out on points unless something fucky happens. Let's see. And Piastri just being a whingy little cunt on the radio. Come on, man. Fuck off with that shit. If you're gonna be sarcastic on the radio, do it as good as Alonso, because you just sound like a whiny little bitch. Like that passive aggressive shit. Fuck off with that sort of stuff. Fuck, what was that guy's name? That fella's name? In IndyCar this year. Not Stingray Rob, he would never swear. Who was that fucking fella? And he just... Oh, Nolan Siegel, that's it. McLaren driver, unfortunately, in IndyCar. Absolutely went... Oh, Lawson's finally in the pits. Absolutely went fucking mental on the radio when he copped a penalty for what he felt was a bad call. I think that's the kind of energy you need to be exuding on the radio. If you're gonna say something, if you want to try to bite, bite. Don't nibble. Really fucking bite. Chomp that shit. Passive aggressive shit makes me sick. Like, you're an Aussie, mate. Fucking swear like an Aussie. I know we can fucking do it. Whatever. Either way, Russell, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri look like... Yeah, like I said, I mean, Lawson's already dipped out the points. Now it's Alonso 8th, Sainz 9th, Behrman 10th. Sainz will dip out the points sooner or later, and then it'll be Behrman, Hadjar, and that will be it. Yeah, like I said, unless something fucky happens. 12 laps to go. Now, I have been saying since last year, I said in the season preview, I said at the end of last season, if the McLaren boys are both going for the championship, and they have been, if they are both going for the championship, like it was back in Mercedes back in the day, and you know, all of that, how is that team dynamic going to work? Because we saw it get very, what's the word? There's a bit of friction there last year. Hungary, Monza, Brazil, you know, a little bit of friction there. And nothing quite gets the pressure on like a championship fight. And nothing quite brings out the inner arsehole than a championship fight. And it's very, very interesting to see this dynamic sort of evolve or devolve over the year. They were very cordial, very chummy at the start of the season, but you know, their personalities, they're not quite the Nico Rosberg or Lewis Hamilton types, I think, but this kind of pressure will get to you. It will get to you. And can their team dynamic survive a fight like this? Like what we saw today, lap 1, turn 3, or Austria, or, you know, or the Monza switchback, or any of that sort of stuff. There's been quite a few flashpoints now. Quite a few. And I feel like it's really going to boil over soon. I want to see what Piastri says, because it seems like he's had about, what, an hour and a half to just stew, and he's still very hot in that car. So Sainz is finally in the pits too, so they've, I think, figured out that it's not going to work. It's going to be very interesting to see how this team figures this shit out. Because if it gets to, I mean, like I said before, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. It's the nature of sport. Someone is going to win, someone's going to lose. At this rate, looks like Piastri's going to win, Norris is going to lose. We saw last year Max starting to really go fucking crazy near the end. Mexico City was a big one. It's why he has so few super license points at the start of this year. You can still see that big chunk of winglet just sitting in the middle of the road, but it's well offline, so I think everyone's satisfied it's not going to come into play. Now, we saw Max getting very hot under the collar last year when the pressure started coming on. And I say pressure, it was less pressure than Norris and Piastri both have on each other this year. Norris was always an impossibly long shot last year for the championship, but even that was enough to get Max his elbows out, and when the Red Bull stopped winning, he really started getting desperate in his moves. I wonder if we're going to see that out of Lando and see that out of Piastri. Now, if I'm Lando, it's too early still to throw caution completely to the wind and just send it. Just send it on Verstappen and see what happens. But it feels like he's almost going to have to do that. If he can get 6 points today over Piastri, that's better than 3. It's twice as better. And suddenly the margin is 19, which isn't that bad. I mean, it's not great. Really not great. It's not even good. But it's not that bad. Not when you've still got 6 races to go, plus the sprints. Oh, here we go. Right on cue. Really, really close now is Lando. Really close. The one thing he cannot do, though, if he is going to absolutely send it, is to fuck it up. Because if he takes himself and Verstappen out, you may as well put the crown, the Burger King crown, bam, on Oscar Piastri right now. So congratulations, champ. You done it. Good job. Yeah, to no one's surprise, McLaren Constructors' Championship looks like it's going to happen. Of course it is, let's face it. If not this week, then next week. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I wonder if Zach Brown would have preferred that it happened in Koto when he's back in the US with all of his buddies. I suppose just nailing it. Nailing it in Singapore is pretty good, but I suppose just nailing it at all is the most important part. That's Yuki Tsunoda getting lapped by Max Verstappen. Fuck, not a good move. Oh, not a good look, Yuki, not a good look. Actually, it's funny hearing the English commentators now. The rhetoric around Max Verstappen. Leclerc's just gone by... Leclerc's just been passed by Antonelli. What's happened there? We've totally missed that. Stroll's been taking radio lessons from Fernando Alonso, I think. Lance Stroll, I'm sure, looking forward to the start of the hockey season this week. As are we all. I want to see a replay of what happened with Antonelli and Leclerc, because I saw the timing line move, but we haven't seen anything about it. Leclerc is quite close to him as well, so I can only imagine that Leclerc's just sent it too deep into, I don't know, turn 1 or some shit like that, and Antonelli's got him that way. I mean, good work, Kimi. He stayed with Charles Leclerc for the entire race, so he's done his job well. Amazingly as well, this is going to be another, it looks like, another Singapore race without a safety car. So we had one every single year until last year, and now we've had 2 in a row without one. There's been a couple of yellow flags this year, which is a little bit different, but I mean, generally, everybody's been quite well behaved. Which is surprising considering how much aggro there is out on track. There's been a few broken front wings too. Oh, look at that. Lewis 2 seconds. 2 seconds behind Charles Leclerc now. So Lewis might end up... Maybe that pit stop did work out. On the soft tyres, it's actually going to get him ahead of Leclerc, which I don't think it would have happened, potentially, if Leclerc did not lose that position to Antonelli. So Lewis turning 7th into 6th. The magic man, well done. Okay. So had radio a message about Max and Norris, so I get the feeling the RB might jump ahead of Norris here and try to hold him up. Now he gets to pass 3 blue flag posts before he starts eating penalties for that. So I get the feeling now. There's a lot of I don't know about this. This seems like playing with fire. There's a lot of consternation, especially from McLaren lately, about how fair it is that Red Bull has two teams in Formula One when nobody else does. Now I understand how that situation came about, and it came about 20 odd years ago. That's fine. I've got no problem with that, but it's a hell of a setup. Nobody else in F1 has it. Fair play to Red Bull. They bought it, they made it, they invested in it, so that's fine. But if they're going to start these kinds of games, and we saw Ferrari used to do this with Sauber back in the day, and I mean way back in the day. I wonder if this is really going to stoke some fire that maybe Red Bull don't really want to be stoking here. You know, win the battle but lose the war kind of thing. I get the feeling if the RB, and here he is, he's getting very close here. He is looking in his mirrors. You can see Isaac looking in his mirrors there. There goes Max. Oh, and he does let him through. Okay, well done. Good work, Isaac. Well done. Well done. And I was thinking, if they did want to start pissing around with their second team, it's probably one way to lose it. Especially when the demand for team ownership has never been so high in Formula One. I can imagine there'd be a lot of vultures circling around if Red Bull forcibly have to drop one of their teams. I can see that shit going very quickly. Now, Russell, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, top 3, top 4, exactly as it has been the entire race, aside from the pit stop shuffle. 5 laps to go. What do you think? I think this is done. I think it's done. Norris is hanging in there, but I don't know if it's worth him really sending that. And it's not even so much a tyre delta now. Both of their tyres are old as fuck now. Fuck, you can see how much Max is pushing here. He wants it. He really, really wants it. Again, it's not... He's so far back in the championship fight. I think he's about the most outside shots that there ever was. If we're talking about an outside shot, like Max is trying to take the shot from outside the stadium here. Although it is interesting that he's finishing ahead of both McLarens again. Which again, I don't know what else to say, that's Max. And we've barely even seen George Russell today, but it looks like he just hasn't really put a foot wrong at all. He's just executed perfectly. It's a great fight back. He had a crash in practice too on Friday. Had like a half slide and then straighten it up, straight into the wall. Lost a lot of track time there. So I tell you, it's a hell of a comeback. Russell's about to win his second race of the season. Good lad. So Sainz has just got by Sonoda as well. Sainz is on a tear right there. Oh, 2.5 seconds to a point. Can Carlos do it? Surely not. Surely not. But then again, what's Hadjar on? Very old tyres. Sainz on quite new softs. Keep an eye. Maybe Carlos Sainz could rescue a point here. Maybe it could happen. Maybe it could happen. That front wing of Lando Norris has given me the shits the entire race, I'll be honest. I just want to put it back up into place. It's like looking at a crooked picture You ever go to like a friend's house and they've got like a crooked picture of some shit on the wall and you're staring at the fucking thing like I need to straighten it. I need to straighten it. It's not quite OCD, it's just tidiness. And how the fuck does that not bother someone? Like, you must be staring at that shit every day. What the fuck? Like, what is wrong with your life? Get it together. Oh yeah. I didn't even see it, but Hamilton went absolutely by Leclerc, so that worked. He's less than a second behind Antonelli. Oh, 3 laps to go. Lewis versus his replacement at Mercedes. Let's see. It's like Albon's just gotten by Colapinto as well. Colapinto, who's just dropped behind Lawson too, so Colapinto really was acting like a bit of a cork in a bottle back there. It's intriguing, this race, I think, more than anything. I mean, it's Singapore, it's rarely a total barn burner. But it's been an intriguing race. It's been intriguing to see Mercedes get it together again. And this isn't like Vegas, where it's like cold, or it isn't like Canada where it's... well, Lewis Hamilton's gone just a little bit off the road there, so, well, yeah. Dropped right off Antonelli now, about 2 seconds. I'd say Kimi's probably safe now. Look at Science past Hadjar. Carlos, my boy. He's got it. He's got it. He's feeling it. Russell wins. Carlos Sainz fights back from the back to the points. You know what? Call me the Burger... No, don't call me the Burger King. Call me Ronald McDonald, guys, because I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's been a... Oh, Hamilton, I've lost my brakes. Okay, well, shit. Is he going to be the... Now, how much has he lost his brakes there? Because he did go off earlier. Looks like he's still going. He's dropped another 1.5 seconds to Antonelli, though. Now, what is this? On board with Kimi, Antonelli. So that's when... Is that when he went past Leclerc? I think that's what happened. I don't know what lap that was from. I wish they'd put that up on the graphic, because that could have been when Leclerc went behind Antonelli and probably why he sunk quite far back. I assume that's what happened, because I don't think Hamilton got past Antonelli and then went off again. I don't think that he caught him yet. Yeah, I'd say that that's what happened when Antonelli went past Charles Leclerc. So a good pass into turn 16. Another good pass into turn 16. So well done. The young guys getting it done today. Just like Ollie Behrman earlier in the race. Good stuff. And just looking at Hadjar 11th, Tsunoda 12th, Lawson 15th. It really does... Oh, Leclerc ahead of Hamilton, so Hamilton really does have genuine issues there. It really does show the value of Max Verstappen at that Red Bull team. Second place there. Several wins this year. 4 fucking championships. It's it must be a hell of a thing when you've got one of the very greatest to ever do it driving one of your cars on your team. It must be quite the ego trip. God, no wonder Horner got so brave to send dick pics out. Now what is this? Lewis Hamilton. So that's him getting by Charles Leclerc. I mean, that's fine. That's just Ferrari orchestrating that. And now what is this? This is, I think, Lewis giving it back. Yeah, look at that. Sparks out of the brakes. Oh, yeah. No, that is fucking doomed, that car. That thing's fucked. And that's Lewis just cruising down the main straight and Charles Leclerc going by. Whew. Fuck, that's not just a brake problem, that's like a brake calamity for Lewis Hamilton. That could be awful. Look how far back he's dropped as well. Yeah, that thing's completely fucked. Either way, what is this? The final fucking lap already? Holy shit, here we go. I mean, generally this race used to run the full about 2 hours, and it would always be touch and go if they could fit the whole thing in. That's what she said, but... shit, we got a lot of time to spare tonight. Well, looks like Russell's actually going to keep it together today. He will get the Singapore podium that he could have had a couple of years ago. He's going to get the win that he was challenging for a couple of years ago. So absolutely fantastic, George. Well done. Max Verstappen is going to stay ahead of Norris. I just don't think there was really a fair chance to get it done. So here is George Russell around turn 16, 17, then 18, 19. Nails it. Well done. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well done. Max Verstappen second. Lando Norris third. Oscar Piastri fourth. It looks like Carlos Sainz did finish 10th after all, so well done. Alright. Yeah, McLaren champions. Here we go. So it'll be Antonelli 5th. Then Leclerc, Hamilton assuming he can finish, but Alonso's going to be chasing him down here. It looks like Lewis Hamilton's absolutely limping around as well. There's no way Behrman's going to be able to catch him. Alonso might catch him though. So Russell radio. Oh, Lewis is going to get caught. There's no way Alonso isn't getting by. Lewis is so going to get caught. They're coming up to turn 16 now. Oh, maybe Lewis is just going to make it. Oh, Alonso is very close. Don't really need the brakes from here on out though. Nah, Hamilton's got him. Oh, just barely. Just barely. Just barely. Alright, now it's going to be interesting. So, here we are. McLaren are champions. 2025 Constructors Champions. Done. It's all over. It's all ogre, like Shrek and Fiona. The interesting bit is, how much is Oscar Piastri going to want to celebrate here? Because the championship is done for the teams, but the drivers is wide open. And it still looks like Piastri's going to get it over the line, over Lando Norris. 6 races to go. Kota in 2 weeks' time, so that'll be fun. Waking up at bastard o'clock for that. It's going to be very interesting though, this dynamic. The whole team's going to be chuffed today. The whole team. Lando's going to be loving it. All of McLaren's going to be loving it. Zach, Andrea Stella, all of them. They're all going to be loving it. Champions, podium, all of that shit. The only guy who's not going to be loving it today, in Papaya, is that lad right there, Oscar Piastri. He is going to be fucking fuming. And that he's had to sit through an entire Singapore Grand Prix, the heat, the humidity, all of that sort of shit. And you can see he's absolutely, it's like he's driven almost at fucking full race speed back to the pits just to get out of that car. He's done. The fact that he's had to endure that race and he never got what I'm assuming he thinks he deserves, which is that place back. Oh, it's gonna give him the absolute shits. And it's going to be interesting to see how their dynamic survives after this. And by survives, I mean, exactly where does it go from here? Will Piastri remember that? Will he get his elbows out next week at Kota? Is it going to get dirty a little bit, the fighting? Are they going to sit the guys down and just say, cut the shit, whatever happened, stop? Okay, looks like Lewis Hamilton's had a lot of track limit violations, so I'd say he's probably going to be eating a penalty or two, maybe. Who knows? So it looks like Alonso will end up getting 7th place after all. George Russell pulls in a park for May. Lovely helmet on the lad this week. Almost... it's a lovely shiny shade of blue, that one. Almost as good as Lewis Hamilton's helmet this week, which I think of all the one-offs looked absolutely fucking phenomenal. For my money, the best. It's well lit, that park for May in Singapore. Very well lit. And look at him, Russell, leaping with everything he's got left. He must be absolutely fucked after that race. Love it. Love to see it. I love to see it. Yeah. There we go. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens at McLaren now when everyone's supposed to be celebrating, and you've got Oscar Piastri, who looks like somebody's just taken a shit in his Big Mac. And he's very hungry. I think Norris will know that... I want to say that he got away with it, because I don't think it was really I don't really think it was like a dirty move or anything. I think it was like a desperation kind of move that just ended up happening to work out. Max congratulates him, so not all that frosty between Max and George, I guess. So yeah, there we go. That's it. That was the Singapore Grand Prix for 2025. That was a fun race. It was okay. It was okay. What are we saying? 2.5? 2.5. There was a little bit, like, Norris kept it interesting at the start and at the end. Norris kept it interesting. Personally, I love seeing Sainz come back. I love seeing Russell get a win, so that's always great for me. I'm a little bit biased. Amazingly, no safety car, no red flag, barely any yellow flags. Fastest lap of the race, Lewis Hamilton. Now that's, I think, when his brakes were still working. That's when he got on the soft, so I think he'll keep that lap. Yeah, top 3, fantastic. Piastri, going to be really, really upset about that. So let's see what happens between now and Kota there, or indeed for the rest of the season. Antonelli 5th, decent recovery. Kept Leclerc honest the whole race and was, I guess he was never going to catch any of the guys ahead of him, so it's about probably as much as you could get out of Antonelli. Look at them, George and Lando, they're absolutely fucked. It's like working out in a sauna for 2 hours. It's intense. Like, there's a lot of people who think it's just driving cars around, like the AC's cranked or some shit. It really isn't. Like, the sheer force going through there, the adrenaline and all of that shit, it is a genuine workout. And 2 hours in Singapore outside, fuck mate, you couldn't pay me to do that. Leclerc, Hamilton, 6th, 7th or so. We'll see how long Hamilton keeps on to that 7th, but another very bang average race for Ferrari. Not complete dog shit, but not great. Alonso 8th was brilliant, absolutely brilliant out of Fernando, well done. Ollie Behrman 9th, again, brilliant, well done Ollie Behrman. Carlos Sainz rescued, a point for Williams. Fantastic. Hadjar, unlucky not to get a point at the end. I bet you he's going to be wondering if he'd nailed his Q3 lap like he was so upset about yesterday. Maybe he could have got a little bit more out of it. Tsunoda, dead man walking, I think, at this point. Stroll, Albon, Williams. Finishing 14th when you're starting from the pit lane is okay when there's no retirements, but just Albon and Lawson behind him. The strategy dice didn't come up for him. Colapinto, Bortoletto, Ocon, Gasly, Hulkenberg may as well have had the exact same race because they all got nothing out of it, except for Hulk, who had a tiny little spin. That's about it. Anyway, thanks for watching along wherever you were. That was, like I said, maybe a 2.5. 2... I feel like 2 is too low. 3 is too high. 2.5, there we go. 2.5 out of 5. Good stuff. Just enough to keep us properly interested. Just enough to keep me from falling asleep. Nah, it was alright. I've seen a lot worse than that. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time for Kota, which I think is a sprint race, so I'll be here for that, and then for the Grand Prix afterwards. Hope to see you then. Hope you've had fun. Congratulations again to McLaren. our champions. Well done. Well done. They threatened to do it all year and they got it done. So good stuff. 2 years in a row now. McLaren team champions. 2 years in a row after, what was it? 24 years, I think, between wins? 24 years, 26 years or some shit like that. 1998 to 2024, and now they've won another one, so well done. McLaren they're back. They're back exactly as I remembered them from when I was a wee youngin'. Good stuff. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Hope you had fun. This has been Turn15 channel. Bye bye for now. Ta-da.